Hi everyone. I've been doing art conventions for a while now, so I wanted to share the process of how I make my stickers from start to setting it up for printing. I do all my drawing on the iPad because I'm really lazy. Even though I have Clip Studio installed on my PC, I just prefer drawing from the bed now, so that's why you'll see me drawing almost everything from the bed and only using the PC for when I'm setting it up for printing. You'll see here that I already have my sketch, and what I'm doing now is doing another sketch because I'm not really happy with how the sketch looks. Like, I think I need to fix up some of the details, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to draw the body of the chibi, and what I've learned is that drawing chibis are really difficult. Like, it's much more difficult for me to draw a chibi character than an actual anime or like a normal sized human character. So never underestimate chibi. Even though they're smaller and they look simpler, quote unquote simpler, it's actually difficult and you really have to practice drawing chibis. For sketching, I use any brush. I like to use pencils because they feel close to when I'm drawing with a pencil and it's more natural. For this one, I'm using the Paint Tool Sai imitation brush that I got from a Procreate forum a while back. Because this is actually the brush that I'm planning to use for lining the stickers. When I'm sketching, I just pick a brush with less stabilization so that it's easier to sketch quickly. When I'm lining, however, I pick a brush with more stabilization or I bring the stabilization up. I guess it really depends on your style, like what kind of stickers you want to sell or what you want them to look like in the end. I know some people have kind of sketchy looking stickers that they sell, but for me, a lot of my stickers, I prefer to have cleaner lines on them. There's been 3 brushes I've used in the past. One is just a simple rounded brush, and this is just one of the basic brushes on Procreate, and I've used this for like my Valorant stickers and my fragrance stickers. Almost every sticker is using this brush because I wanted it to have clean lines in the end. I've also used a more rough brush for my Witch Hat Atelier keychains. It can be difficult to use a rough brush because you have to make sure that in the end when you're preparing the cut lines that they're smooth. And the third brush that I've used is this one that I'm using right now, the Sai imitation brush that I got from a forum. I don't really know if the link is still active, but if I can find it, then I'll include it in the description. So these Witch Hat Atelier stickers I'm working on is for a stamp rally for one of my upcoming events. It's my first time participating in a stamp rally, and the way it works is if someone buys something from your store related to the fandom, then they get a stamp, and if they've collected all the stamps, then they can get a prize. So what I'm working on right now is my contribution to the prize pool, which are 2 stickers, one of Riche and one of Coco. Next, I just do the same thing for Coco. I trace the lines over based on my sketch. For some items, I'm able to copy it exactly, like duplicate it literally from the other drawings. Like, I think I copied for this one their eyes and their hat because I just flipped it and then used the same thing and placed that over the Coco sketch. I do this a lot for my stickers or keychains, especially for the Valorant set of stickers I made and also the hand-holding ones. I have a template that I can use to draw the other characters. That just makes the process easier and it makes the stickers look more consistent, especially if you're doing like a set with multiple characters. So you'll notice that because I'm drawing very loosely, there are gaps between the lines. And to make the coloring process easier, what I usually do is I select around the characters and then inverse the selection, and that becomes the area that I can color in. And to close the gap, I just draw another line over it on a separate layer. Now that the gaps are closed, I can now do that process of just selecting, inversing the selection, and then filling in where the characters are. You just have to zoom in to make sure that you're capturing everything because sometimes there are gaps inside the character, like here where the hair is. So we have to make sure to select that too. When that's done, we can finally inverse the selection. And then I normally fill them with the dominant colors. In this case, I think it's the dark green, which is on their uniform. And now that everything's selected, I don't really have to worry about coloring over the lines, especially when I'm coloring like their hair, for example. By the way, the polka dot pouch I'm holding on the left, that's like a heat pack. I like to hold it when I'm anxious, and I think I was having anxiety at the time of filming this, so that's why I was holding it, because warm sensations help me calm down. So that's what it is. And just to make the process of coloring easier or more convenient, I normally think of a process that I'll do for all of them. Like, for example, okay, I'll do a solid color, and then I'll use a softer brush to make blush on their cheeks, and I'll decide, okay, will I do cell shading or will I do kind of more rendered coloring style? So I'll establish those ahead of time to make sure that I follow the same step-by-step process for each of them. So, for example, I'll do the same style of eye coloring. I'll put highlights on the same parts of their eyes, because then it will make your stickers look more consistent, and also you don't have to stress too much thinking about how to color. Watching this back, what the heck is that hand positioning? Anyway, another thing that also helps is to note down exactly what colors you're using on a separate layer so that you can color pick from that layer. This works well for cases where you're using effect layers like multiply or overlay, so that you don't have to keep figuring out what color you used for those layers. This last step that I'm doing is just erasing the edges. This tends to happen if the brush you use is soft at the edges because of the select inverse select stuff that I did. It selects slightly offset from where the line ends because of the softness of the edge. Now, when I'm setting them up on my sheet for printing, the first thing I do is resize them. And when I'm making the outline, it's similar to how I color them actually. I select outside the figure and then I inverse the selection. But this time there's a third step, which is I expand that selection by, I don't know, 20 to 30 pixels. It's up to your preference. And once I have the art layer and the cut line layer set up, I just keep duplicating them until I have them all laid out on my sheet. And this part really depends on the instructions of your manufacturer. In my case, my manufacturer wants it to be saved as a PNG, so that's what I'm doing. And that's about it for this video. It's a little scuffed, but thank you for watching.